Hi guys, so I'm gonna read Fantastic Four Annual #1. So this is gonna take a lot of parts. Maybe actually just 2 parts, because I'm gonna read the Spider-Man story, and also there's the Rogues Gallery. I'm gonna read the profiles in the Rogues Gallery. So 72 big pages. Fantastic Four Annual #1. The Undersea Legions of Submariner. At last, Submariner finds his long-lost race, and so begins the most fantastic battle of all time. Inside the pages of this, the world's greatest comic magazine, Spider-Man waits within these pages. So the Spider-Man story is a reprint of, it's sort of, it's a reprint, but there's things added to it, in Spider-Man #1, and I will read Spider-Man comic one day. It's gonna take me a while, because I gotta get through a bunch of comics before I can read that. But I really want to read Spider-Man though, because I love Spider-Man. But also the origin of the Fantastic Four, the most requested saga ever printed, and don't miss the awesome gallery of villains. So yeah, those parts will be in part 2. But the fabulous Fantastic Four present Submariner versus the Human Race, the longest and uninterrupted super epic of its kind ever published. So written by Stan Lee, inking Dick Ayers, drawn by Jack Kirby, lettering Art Simic. Countless fathoms beneath the sea, the most colorful coronation of all time takes place, for Prince Namor, the mighty submariner, has finally found his long-lost undersea kingdom, and here amidst breathtaking pomp and pageantry, he once again dons his royal crown, as he is acclaimed Namor the First, Prince of Atlantis, Emperor of the Deep, Lord of the Seven Seas, and Supreme Commander of the Undersea Legions. I vow to be true to the name of Namor, which means avenging sun. I shall never rest until the insolent human race has paid for its crimes against our people. Now rise and pledge me your hearts, your hands, your lives. All hail mighty Namor. Hail, Prince of the Submariners. Great Neptune himself has sent thee to lead us. Hail, hail, all homage to the noble protector of the deep. Long live Namor, long live Atlantis. Hail to the gods who have returned our mighty leader. Where you lead we will follow, where you command we will obey. For you are truly Namor, Prince of the Blood, and we are your subjects. But among the cheering multitude stand 2 figures, each with different emotions blazing within. At last, my loved one has returned to me. What words do you utter, my Lady Dorma? Release my hand, Krang. I must go to him. Wait, have you forgotten your vow? You are pledged to become the bride of Warlord Kang. Or Krang. Yeah, sorry, I said Kang. Anyway. No, you cannot hold me to that now, for Namor has returned, my true love has come back. Moments later, my heart rejoices to see you, my Lady Dorma. Oh, my Lord Namor, I feared you were lost forever. Truly this is a glorious day for your people, and for your adoring subject, Dorma. Rise, my lady, there is still much to be done. I must plan our next moves with the utmost care, for the air-breathing humans are a mighty race, and they will fight to preserve their way of life, even as we will fight to preserve ours. But now we must leave our undersea nobles for a short time, as they stand on the royal balcony, intent upon their own thoughts. I shall never let him leave me again. Never. Now I must lead my people to victory, the task I was born to do. If Namor has not returned, both Dorma and the crown might have been mine, but there are still ways. Let us turn now to the surface world, and to the skyscraper headquarters of the Fantastic Four. Will we find... Johnny Storm, what on earth are you doing? Quiet, sis. I'm blowing some hot air into the ventilator, which connects with the next room. Someone's going to get a little surprise. Let's see now. Dear Yancey Street Gang, Dop Drop Dead. Nah, that's too subtle. I gotta think of something real sharp. Hey, what's going on here? That blasted air conditioner is getting hotter by the minute. Must be my imagination. Maybe I could stuff myself into a sack and mail me to Yancey Street. Then when I get my paws on those cornballs, look out. Nuts. How can a guy figure out some nice innocent mayhem when he's sitting in a steam box? The blasted ventilator must be on the blink. You'd think a big brain like Reed could fix a crummy little air vent. I bet yo, I just got me a hot seat. Aha! So you're the wise guy. Did you figure that out by yourself, Gruesome? Or did someone help you? You flamin' figurehead. This door won't keep me out. When I'm through with you, there won't be enough light left to light a firecracker. Ben, don't. That fireproof vault door costs a small fortune. Who cares? We'll charge to the Diners Club. Hey, where'd he go? Thanks for the ride, Frogface. Look out! This is carrying horseplay too far. Johnny Ben, if you two don't stop, what do you do, doll? Take away our lollipop privileges? Don't you get it, Ben? She's afraid I'll hurt you. She knows what a clumsy loudmouth you are. Oh, yeah? Well, let's see how long you can dodge this, you blister-brained brat. You kidding? If the Submariner couldn't lick me with the whole ocean, what are you going to do with that dumb gizmo? Just wait, you flamin' freak, and I'll show you. Hey, what happened to the water? A few little buzzsaw fireballs took care of that easy enough. And now? But suddenly, from the other side of the room, all right, boys, the party's over. What the heck? Phooey, I might have known Big Daddy would show up at the wrong time as usual. I hate to waste this expensive experimental asbestos netting on you, kid, but hold it, buddy boy. He's just in the right position. I'll give him one whap that'll make his bottom even redder than it is now. Knock it off, Ben. When are you two going to grow up? I said knock it off, big fella. Let go, you can't do this to the idol of millions. Oh no, look what they've done. My clothes, my expensive Dwyer and Saks, Fifth Avenue dresses, ruined. Look at them, sob. I'm sorry, Sue, it was an accident. You're the only accident around here, you big ape. Let me out of here. Don't, Sue, I'll make it up to you, honey. You can't read. They were all original, exclusive creations. Sob, men, you're all beasts. Forgive me, boys. It isn't like me to get so emotional. Forget it, Sue. We all seem to be keyed up, tense. I think we've been working too hard. We need a vacation. Hear that, Torchy boy? A vacation. How about that? Look out, you clumsy lummox. Ow! Be serious, Johnny. I think it's a vacation for us is a wonderful idea. Some vacation if the thing comes along. But okay, I'm for it. But where will we go? I'm no gall darn sightseer. I want a spot that swings. I think I have the answer, kids. Recently, one of our new experimental subs reported the presence of a strange sea monster in the middle of the Atlantic. That sighting was confirmed by other sub-commanders as well. At the same time, a commercial jet on a New York to London flight reported the presence of a gigantic, incredible fish coming to the surface in that same area. You ain't buying that jazz, are you, Reed? Remember, I used to be a jet jockey myself, and after a long tour of duty, a pollywog could begin to look like a platypus to those guys. Sure, Ben's right, for once. Sea monsters are for comic books. You fought a sea monster. In issue number 4, you fought a sea monster. Perhaps, but it will give us a chance to combine business with pleasure. For our vacation, we can take a cruise to that same area and see what's going on. I think Reed's idea is fabulous, provided you take me with you, that is. Alicia, baby, I didn't hear you come in. Wow, you a sight for sore eyes. Then you'll take me along, Ben, dear? Baby, now that I found you, I wouldn't let you out of my sight for nothing. Then it's agreed. I'll get the tickets tomorrow. And so a short time later, as the Atlantic cruise ship Holiday majestically slips out to sea. By the way, kid, What's this little jaunt costing us? Not a penny, Ben. The captain gave us free passage. He felt having us on board would make it a sellout trip. Some calm down for the great Fantastic Four. Shills for a bunch of moth-eaten tourists. I don't know if Human Torture Thing is saying that. Nuts. Oh, nuts. Okay, so Thing is saying that. So some come down for the great Fantastic Four. Shills for a bunch of moth-eaten tourists. Nuts. Quick, ripen, Ben. You know you love it. How about you and Alicia helping me find Reed? Who needs him? He's probably selling souvenir pictures of me so the crew will make a fortune. Minutes later, at the cruise's ship swimming pool. Greetings, little partner. Have you had your lunch yet? The food is simply priceless, Johnny. Okay, I can take a hint. I'm not hanging around. Well, looky here, with all that talent aboard, who needs Reed and Sue? Little Johnny's going to enjoy this trip. Hey, what's that? Holy smoke! Reed was right. It's some kind of sea serpent. Of all the crummy times for this to happen. Ben, quick! There's some kind of monster out there. Where? Blast these stupid folding, lame brain contraptions. Look, you can still see him. He's starting to submerge. Yeah. Well, there goes the shortest vacation on record. I'll go tell Reed and Sue. Although I'm sure not going to win any popularity contests by interrupting all you little lovebirds. You stay put in your cabin till I get back, honey. Here? 60 seconds later. How come we raid our own little private boat, Reed? It's part of the deal I made with the captain. But never mind that now. Keep your eyes peeled, all of you. That tub's too slow for me. I'm just mosey around up here my own way. There's an archer fish below me. They shoot water bubbles at the surface, catching insects that way. But what's he doing? He shot me with some sort of gas bubble at me, making me groggy, tired, eyes heavy. Can't stay airborne. Inside the gas bubble, enough air to breathe, but how? What? Reed, something's happening to Johnny. Easy, Sue. I'll try to catch him. Just a little bit farther. But at that moment, the brilliant leader of the colorful quartet is swept up by an oxygen-filled, giant-sized magnetic seashell. Swoosh. Some undersea intelligence knows we're here and is attacking us. While on the surface, a huge squid-like fish ejects a large membranous sac, which completely encases the rowboat containing Ben and Sue. This oversized laundry bag ain't gonna hold us inside of it. It all happened so quickly. For the love of Pete, we're being pulled under the water inside this gizmo boat and all. Don't try to tear it open, Ben. There's air inside it. If it should rip, we'll drown. And surrounded by his highest-ranking aides, a silent regal figure waits confidently below. Your maneuver has succeeded, Your Highness. Of course. Now have them placed inside the plastidome communicator, so that I may address them. So, we meet once again. Welcome to the sovereign empire of Atlantis. It's Submariner. I had a feeling you were behind this. Consider your words, surfaceman. Speak with respect when addressing His Royal Highness Namor the First. Yeah, well, just wait. When I get through with him, it'll be Namor the Last. You, my dear, need fear nothing. You are and always shall be under my royal protection. No, Namor, I do not accept that favor. So long as the Fantastic Four have a common enemy, I stand with them, and if need be, I fall with them. For the moment, I'll disregard what you said to Sue. But how did you know we were on that ship, Namor? The sea has no secrets from its ruler. Observe, one blast from my trumpet horn brings Telefish to my side. He is the most perfect living spy on Earth. His hypersensitive protruding spines are actually receiving sets, similar to your surface radar. He receives visual impressions through them, and then he transmits them to me by means of his projector-like eyes. See, even now he projects an image of the concertation which is felt aboard your ship. Hey, there was Alicia on deck. If you're planning to mess around with that fish face, I'll tear your cardboard kingdom apart gill by gill. Your childish tantrum does not impress Prince Namor, but if you have no cause for alarm yet, I have created a swift jet current, and even now the ship Holiday is speeding safely back to your shore, as all ships shall do from now on. Captain, what's happened? We're moving at torpedo speed. It isn't possible. Aye, we seem to be controlled by a power far greater than ours. As for you, I commanded the monsters of the deep to reveal themselves at sea, knowing you would come to investigate, for I have a message to be delivered to the surface world, and I want you to deliver it. The air-breathing humans will believe what they are told by the Fantastic Four. It would have been cheaper to send a telegram, you waterlogged ham. Quiet, Ben, let him finish. You must tell the United Nations that I, Prince Namor, proclaim the seven seas and the skies above them as my imperial domain. From this day forward, no serviceman ship or aircraft may trespass on my kingdom. Now you will be placed within a transparent water rocket and return to America to deliver my ultimatum. The audience is ended. Namor, this could mean war between our two races. You can't reason with them now, Sue. We'll have to bide our time. I like to reason with them with a brick. Hey, what's this blamed thingamajig? Hold on to this center rod, all of you. They're forcing tons of water pressure under this cylinder to make it rise. I feel like I'm some kind of nut inside here. Yeah, sometimes I don't know if the Thing or Human Torch is saying. It looks like the arrows. It's pointing more towards Human Torch. Don't mock their tech. Okay, so it is. Okay, don't mock their technology, Johnny. In their own way, they seem to be as highly advanced as we. Perhaps, and it is a frightening thought, perhaps even more so. See, where we use fluid rocket propellant, they use a highly concentrated water pressure power. Reed, what's happening now? We'll drown. Don't panic. We'll be all right. They simply use an expanding pot of water to envelop us and cushion the shock of orbital entry. You mean it'll save us if it doesn't kill us first, huh? What an egghead. Reed, if they ever trapped you in an electric chair, you'd probably be explaining how the blamed thing works when they pull the switch. Sorry, Ben. Guess I do get long-winded at times, but I never dreamed Namor's undersea people were so technologically advanced. This could mean the greatest danger that the human race has ever faced. It could be the end of Homo sapiens' domination of Earth. Finally, after long minutes of suborbital flight, a thin membranous outer skin opens atop the strange missile, acting as a combination brake and parachute. We're slowing down, falling. Looks like the end of the line. The life and death question facing us now is, how accurate is the capsule's guidance systems? Seconds later, they get their astonishing answer. Holy cow! It landed right atop our headquarters. It's more accurate than any guided missile known to man. Look, after cushioning the shock and landing us gently, it's falling apart. It's evaporating. That must be so you won't be able to study it and see how it works. Anyway, it saves us the trouble of sweeping the blamed thing up. Besides, Reed could probably build this one twice as good by now, after looking at it once. Right, big brain? Afraid not, Ben. Without the materials Namor has on his command, we would have to find ways to manufacture substances like this artificially. Hey, I just remembered. Alicia, she was on the Holiday. Where is she? What happened to her? I wouldn't worry, Ben. At the speed they were going, she should be reaching the pier within the hour. Better meet her there, old friend. She hasn't said a word to me since we landed. She must be haunted by thoughts of Namor. Namor. Am I to have his image always between me and the girl I love? Why? Why must Namor be our enemy? Where will it all end? I'm cutting out on this of the gloom room and headed for a snooze. No time to dwell upon my personal problems. I still have a job to do. Hello, information? like the number of the United Nations I want to speak to. So that was the United Nations ambassador back in 1963, I think, when this was made. Or is it 62? I don't know. I think in 1963, it was Adlai Stevenson was the ambassador. He was the U.S. presidential candidate twice. In 56 or 52 and 56, 19. Anyway, yes, of course, I understand, Richards. I'll arrange an emergency session as soon as possible. And so the ultimatum of Namor I, Prince of Atlantis, is relayed to the startled emissaries of the Earth's surface nations. And I cannot emphasize too strongly the gravity of the threat. There is no blustering tyrant trying to bluff the UN. This is the supreme ruler of a powerful undersea empire who feels he is fighting for what is due to him, and there is every possibility that he has the armed might to achieve his objectives. Bah! It is all a pack of capitalistic lies. No matter what the democracies say, I vote niet, niet, niet. So that was Nikita Khrushchev. So there was like a famous shoe incident that happened in the late 50s where like banged his shoe on a table. That's what that's like a parody of. So bam, bam. We anticipated the fact that some member nations might doubt the existence of the Submariner, and so I present Dr. G.W. Fulton, an eminent authority on undersea life, who has volunteered to explain the origin of Namor and his almost legendary race. If the delegate would kindly stop pounding his shoe, I would try to allay his unfounded suspicions. I call your attention to this rare skull of fossil evidence of the existence of a race known as Homo Mermanus, or men of the sea. At the dawn of time, many forms of life evolved from the sea, and some of them later returned to the sea, such as the mammal we call whale. But there was another form of mammal which later returned to the sea, the mammal which we would come to know as Homo Mermanus. We shall never know what awesome menace drove him back to the deep, but of one thing we can be certain. Homo Mermanus evolved into an intelligent, water-breathing race, rivaling the development of our own early cavemen. So, artist's interpretation of ancient sea people battling the actual ancestor of our present-day shark. Centuries passed as the surface cavemen found deep, sheltered caves for their mutual protection. So did Homo Mermanus find huge unbreakable shells which they carried as shields on their nomadic wanderings, shields to shelter them from the inconceivable dangers of the deep. And still paralleling the development of surface humans, the undersea dwellers soon learned to make allies of certain forms of marine life, to domesticate them and train them, as man was doing on shore with horses, dogs, and camels. Then in time Homo Mermanus stumbled upon weapons of war, and there too, alas, their history duplicated our own. And so, as the long ages passed, a true and undersea civilization developed, with its own culture, its own morals, its own arts and sciences. Suspecting the existence of this civilization, perhaps due to a smoldering racial memory, surface men created the legend of Atlantis, but we now know it was more than just legend. Finally, late in the year 1920, man made his first recorded contact with Homo Mermanus. It happened aboard the icebreaker Oracle, commanded by Captain Leonard Mackenzie, on duty near the South Pole. So the events that's going to be mentioned, this was also seen in Marvel Comics #1 back in 1939. I read that one. Death charges in place, sir. As soon as the men are safely on board, commence firing, Mr. Barnes. Little did they dream, these hardy men on routine sea duty, that an age-old civilization will be rocked by their explosives many fathoms below. There's one iceberg that'll never wreck an unsuspecting ship. Puzzled by the severity of the blast, the king sent for his daughter, Princess Fen. "My dear, I wish you to send a scouting expedition to investigate that strange explosion." "As you command, my father. There is no need for a scouting party. For such a simple mission, I myself shall make the ascent." Being able to breathe out of the water for periods of up to 5 hours, the strong-willed princess spied the silent ship and stealthily climbed aboard. "I must learn what manner of creatures inhabit this strange vessel." But within minutes her presence was discovered, and then, "It don't make sense, Captain. She ought to be frozen solid in that get-up, but she ain't. And look at the color of her skin. And no one that's can savvy the lingo she talks. Strange, she has difficulty breathing. She keeps looking at the water, as though she wants to return." As time passed, Princess Fen conquered the humans' language, and she conquered even more. She conquered the captain's heart. "She's so lovely, so gentle, so fragile. I should return to the deep, but I cannot. I cannot leave him. Fen, my lovely stranger, my mysterious enchantress, I must ask you. I know your question, beloved, and my heart answers yes." And so the two races, separated for countless ages, were united once more by the simple universal ceremony of marriage, till death do us part. But weeks later, concerned by the absence of his daughter, the king dispatched a war party to the surface. In the ensuing battle, Captain Mackenzie was slain, as the helpless Princess Fen mercifully fainted into unconsciousness. However, as a result of this tragic marriage, a son was born to the grieving princess, a new breed of undersea man, able to breathe both air and water. This was Prince Namor the Submariner, possibly the first known mutant. So that's the first, I think this is the first time mutant is mentioned. So this actually predates the X-Men, I think, of our time. Noble, powerful, dedicated, the only true human amphibian on Earth. So that's the first mention of mutants in Marvel Comics. "Look, Dr. Fulton, let's cut this short. The rest we know. Prince Namor the Submariner has been mankind's enemy ever since his undersea homeland was accidentally devastated by an H-bomb test at sea. We know how Namor first tried to raid coastal cities, summoning strange creatures from the depths of the sea to do his bidding. You know how the Fantastic Four tried to help him, reason with him, but all ended no avail. We finally ended up battling him, but never with a clean-cut decision." So up to this comic, the Fantastic Four have fought Namor, I think, 4 times. The first was in Fantastic Four #1. The next, he teamed up with Doctor Doom in Fantastic Four #6. The next, I think, was #9. He was doing the Hollywood movie. And then #14 was the last time before this one, where he was controlled by Puppet Master. So in a total, at this point, he's fought him. The Fantastic Four fought Namor 5 times. So at this point, Namor was actually the Fantastic Four's arch enemy, not Doctor Doom at this point. It wasn't Doctor Doom yet. "But for months I have warned the world of Namor's power, of the threat he posed to mankind, but my words fell upon deaf ears. Now we are faced with that threat, and we must be strong, we must be resolute, we must fight him until he can threaten us no more. So that is your answer?" Suddenly, before the startled eyes of the assemblage, a dramatic change takes place, and then, "The surface world has had its warning. Now the time for words is past. It's Submariner. I, Prince Namor, declare war upon the human race. You are fast, Reed Richards, but not fast enough to catch me. My legions are waiting. Soon this city will be mine. There is the periscope of my flagship. They see me. Now the battle will go according to my plan." At the signal from Namor's Imperial landing, barges rise to the surface, unloading their dread contents upon the unprepared streets of the world's greatest city. "The element of surprise is with us. New York will be ours before they know what has happened. Disperse, take your positions. Hey, look what gives. Are they filming a movie or something? Gulp, this ain't a movie, pal. This is for real. Within minutes, Namor's shock troops are everywhere. First phase of invasion completed. No casualties. Taken completely by surprise, hopelessly outnumbered, New York's police officers find themselves prisoners of a hostile army before a shot can be fired. This is the last of them. Lock them in those cells. By early afternoon, the impossible is an accomplished fact. Namor's legions are in complete control of the captive city. But the Submariner's main objective is to put the powerful Fantastic Four out of action. And so, it is done. The skyscraper tower is completely encased in liquid cement. It will harden within seconds, imprisoning the Fantastic Four. But before the required number of seconds can be speed by, fling on! The accursed human torches burn through the cement shell. We failed. Like an avenging meteor, the torch blazes through the nearby aircraft, handing the invaders their first limited setback. Bail out! He's destroyed our planes! So far, so good, but Namor has thousands of planes. I can't destroy them all. Meanwhile, back at his headquarters, Mr. Fantastic begins his counter strategy with a cool, steady resolve. It's the same story all over the globe. Namor's legions are attacking everywhere. It's like a grim nightmare. Well, big brain, what are we going to do about it? One thing we're not going to do, lose our heads. First, we gotta take a prisoner. It's the only way to learn of Namor's plans, and his weaknesses, if he has any. Now you're talking my language. Nothing I like better than grabbing me a handful of squawking prisoners. But don't hurt anyone or damage any of their equipment. Yeah, suppose I must, and anybody hair on their flat heads. What'll you do about it? Slap on my wrist? Well, looky here. Did you kiddies get that little pop gun for your birthday? Stand back, human. None may leave this building. By imperial order of Prince Namor himself. Moving with unsuspected speed for one so bulky, the thing jams his fist under the gun barrel, and I had a hunch I could make this pea shooter backfire. Hey, Curly, you said you wanted a prisoner? Here's a whole caboodle of volunteers so you can take your pick. I refuse to divulge anything except my name, rank, and serial number. That's so. What'll you bet I can make you change your mind? No need for that, Ben. His helmet filled with water tells me all I have to know. Now I have the answer I was seeking. Namor himself is the only one who can breathe air and water. His people cannot live in our atmosphere for more than a short time without water. So all I need to do is find a way to evaporate their life-giving water from their helmets. Meanwhile, on the mall at Central Park, the victorious Prince Namor issues his first edict. Effective immediately, I proclaim this city under martial law. If all orders are obeyed, none will be harmed. But if any disobedience or defiance will be met with instant, uncompromising retaliation, so be it. I never dreamed I'd be filming a scene like this. In less than 24 hours from the time he first appeared, Namor is talking to us like a conqueror, talking to his helpless subjects. What will Namor do with us? What plans can he have for the human race? What's the diff? That creep ain't gonna be in the driver's seat much longer. Wait till the Fantastic Four go into action. And the army, they should be counterattacking any time now. But at the outskirts of the sprawling city, a full combat division waits impatiently for the order to repel invaders, an order that's destined never to be given. I don't get it. We've got enough atomic muscle to drive those fishmen back into the sea. Why don't we get the word? For the answer, we turn to the Pentagon, Washington, D.C. A counterattack is out of the question. There are 9 million human beings in New York. Their lives are too precious to jeopardize. Of course, we want to strike back at Namor, but if we bomb the city or shell it with atomic missiles, think what it would do to the millions of humans who are actually his hostages. So then we must find another way. But how? And as if in answer to that desperate question, high in his skyscraper laboratory, Reed Richards works with a quiet, cold fury as a strange, complex electronic device takes shape within the lab. It's finished, Sue, but it must be bolted to the floor. It's starting to topple. I'm afraid of this. It's too top heavy. Sue, quick, out of the way. It's falling towards you. Pushing the startled girl to safety, Mr. Fantastic absorbs the full force of the impact himself. Ben, come quick. Reed is hurt. Hurry, get him out onto the couch. If anything happens to that long drink of water, it'll be my own stupid fault for not being here in time. Oh, Reed, my darling, you could have moved aside in time, but you remained to save me. Ben, he's all right. He's coming too. Sure, he's too ornery to conk out on us. Listen, both of you, it's up to you to operate the machine, to defeat Namor's invasion. And so, following the instructions of the weakened Mr. Fantastic, the Thing and Sue work feverishly to make the complex electronic device operational. That's it. Now set it to maximum intensity. This is like a corny scene from some old Frankenstein movie. It's all set now, Reed. Let's just pray that it works. And as Sue's sensitive finger touches the on button, the victorious Namor and his conquering legions are parading through Washington Square as the undersea monarch proudly surveys his captive city. How regal he looks, even in those simple swimming trunks. He seems every inch a prince, a man who was born to rule. But what happened to our army, to the Fantastic Four? Why don't they do something? This is only the first phase of our master plan, Krang. We must make certain that the humans never again gain control of the Earth's surface. It shall be done, Your Highness. At that very second, a low, discordant hum is heard through the city, as powerful invisible rays strike out from the tower of the Baxter Building, draining dry the helmet of every one of Namor's invading warriors. Look, the undersea soldiers! Something's happening to them. That eerie hum. Where is it coming from? What is it? My men are suffocating. Their helmet water is evaporating. Quick, back to the sea, all of you! Within minutes, the once victorious army becomes a gasping, wheezing, helpless horde. They have only one objective, one goal, to reach the life-giving sea while there is still time. And so, as suddenly as it begun, the incredible invasion has ended. The city is saved. But there is one invader who has not returned to the sea. The accursed evaporation ray blanketed the earth. My men retreated from every occupied city. Only Mr. Fantastic could be responsible. Namor, I was expecting you. You have only won the first skirmish, but the war goes on. Still in a weakened condition, Reed Richards cannot move fast enough to evade the submariner's powerful attack. I shall see to it that you never again upset the grand design of my people. You're a fool, Namor. You can never defeat the human race. This is precisely the reason you humans will be defeated, because of your arrogant self-confidence and conceit. Use your head, Namor. How can you conquer 2 billion humans when you can't even triumph over me? You are clever with words, Richards, but words have never won battles. Blast you! You won't escape me that way. I warned you. Ugh! Still not fully recovered from his accident, Mr. Fantastic cannot change shape quickly enough, as Namor gets the upper hand. And now, you shall feel the might and the fury of Namor, hereditary lord of the 7 seas. Namor, the avenging son. All right, son. That's all the avenging you're gonna do today. Now suppose you tackle someone who you didn't grab out of a sick bed. I'm gonna splash you all over the place. So, Ugly One, again we face each other, and again you try to hide your fear beneath a mask of bravado. Try to hide my fear, eh? I'll show you how afraid I am. Take this, you blasted sardine. You thick-skinned clod. None may lay hands on the royal person of Namor. Come on, Ben, stop hogging all the fun. I'm gonna make the old fish face eat his words. Begone, Torch. It is beneath my royal dignity to battle with a child. A child, eh? Brother, that did it. First, I'm going to surround you with fireballs until you don't dare to move. And then you're going to get the biggest hot foot of all time. Unless you say uncle. Loud and clear. The young flaming fool was so engrossed in what he's doing that he didn't notice me removing the cap from this live experimental gas jet. I shall always be grateful to Richards for having built it into his lab wall. Hey, what the? Too bad, Torch. When you're grown older, you've learned to always expect the unexpected in combat. Namor, don't let me go. You can't. Then before the remaining trio can give chase, the escaping gas causes a low-intensity muffled explosion, stunning the unprepared adventurers. And by the time the smoke is cleared, whoa, that animated hunk of walking seaweed has more lives than a blasted cat. He's got Sue. We gotta go after him. He's got my sister. Easy, Johnny, he won't harm her. In his own way, he loves her as much as we do. Minutes later, after the fabulous foursome has drawn up a pasty battle plan, you find them, Johnny. We'll be right behind you. Remember, Junior, leave the fighting for us. Flame on! Like a flaming streak of living fury, the fiery teenager blazes out to sea, with only one thought throbbing on his brain. Find Submariner. And then, now if I can just remember what Reed told me to whip up a flaming probing device. Hey, that's it. While many fathoms below in Namor's Imperial Amphibious Command Craft, you may remove your helmet, Krang, and you others as well. The walls of this vehicle are moisture-lined to enable you to breathe, even though there is air for our human prisoner. Yes, Your Highness. We must not allow ourselves to become discouraged by only one defeat. I have only just begun to fight. Of course, my prince, and no matter what fate befalls us, know you that Lady Dorma shall always be at your side. Enough! I have no patience for such talk. The Fantastic Four will soon be after us to rescue their abducted member. We must prepare for our defenses. Majesty, I detect sonar heat blips from the surface, following our course. It can only mean one thing. The Human Torch has found us. Namor, wait! He's only a boy. What are you going to do? I shall do what I must. Our peoples are at war, and I must not shirk on my royal duty. Meanwhile, directly above, these blips are getting louder. Something's careening towards the surface. Submariner. These undersea sprocket fish shoot out a gloomy substance, for which will smother your flame, and then you shall be my second prisoner. But the many long hours spent on his practice course serve the Torch in good stead, now as he brilliantly dodges the hurtling gummy masses. Nice try, Namor, but it's now my turn. You called me a child before. Well, now I'll show you what a child can do. Moving with dazzling speed, the flaming teenager shoots a pillar of flame directly below him, where it strikes a smoldering undersea volcano, causing it to build up pressure until... vroom! But mighty Namor survives the blast, and then, at a whistled command from the undersea monarch, a strange shape rises from the deep. It's like some sort of huge marine vacuum cleaner, heading toward me. Can't fight back. It's drawing me inside. My flame doesn't affect it. Surrender, Torch, while there still is time. I have only to whistle and you'll be released. Don't do it, Johnny. You'll be all right. We'll take over now. Reed, you're just in time. Mr. Fantastic. But how? We were following behind the Torch and my new experimental amphibious U-car. Luckily, we were able to land on this continental shelf in the shallow part of the sea. All right, Ben, get rid of that monstrosity. I hear you talking, pal. Pow. Do not gloat yet, Reed Richards. Though the three of you oppose me, we are now fighting on my home grounds. It is now you who are out of your element. He's right, Reed. Everything that lives in the sea is his to command, and he gets his super strength from the sea. What chance do the three of us have? We can't even breathe underwater if we have to. We can't always call our shots, Johnny. Namor must be stopped, wherever we find him. Besides, Sue is his prisoner, and we'll hound him until the end of eternity before we abandon her. Brave words, Reed Richards. Too bad they may prove to be your epitaph. And then, as Namor lands the first awesome blow, the Clash of Titans begins. Zoom, pow. Seizing the pliable form of Reed Richards, Namor fashions a crude candle snuffer out of his stunned body. Come closer, Torch, closer. Just try and stop me, big man. You mean like this? Ugh. Caught by surprise, the Torch's flame is suddenly snuffed out. But at that split second, Mr. Fantastic regains consciousness and, take your clammy hands off me, Namor. Reed, grab me, I'm falling. Snap. Easy, boy. We'll take the plunge together, and we'll bring Namor with us. But his winged feet break his fall as the Submariner again whistles an Imperial command. Sweet. Sooner or later I'll get my paws on you, fraud face, and when I do... Suddenly responding to Namor's signals, 3 enormous hammer-headed fish, or of the shark variety, converge upon the floating U-car. That's it, my pets. And now all together strike. They're trying to smash a U-car. Well, here's one baby who's gonna wish he was back into the water, minding his own business. But although the thing manages to stop one of the fearsome attackers, the other 2 reach their objectives with the impact of onrushing locomotives. Look out, Johnny, jump! The car! They're wrecking the U-car! I've done it. With their means of transportation disabled, I can pick them off at my leisure. It is too far for the Torch to fly back to shore, and even Mr. Fantastic cannot stretch the necessary distance. While in the command craft below, the battle goes well. Prince Namor has resumed the offensive. Krang, you must stop them. If you don't, sooner or later, one of them will be injured, or worse. Strange, though you are human, you sound as concerned for Namor's safety as that for your own kind. Of course I'm concerned about Namor. He isn't bad. He's fighting for what he believes in, the same as we humans are. I begin to suspect there is a bond between you and Prince Namor. You are not a chance a prisoner whom he has captured. No, it is impossible. Namor could never love a human. He is a prince of Atlantis, and I am to be his princess. You shall not come between us, surface girl. I will destroy you first. Dorma, wait, don't you see what this means? If Namor loves this human, then you are free to be mine. No, it is Namor I love. It is Namor I've always loved. Stand aside, Krang, I command you. Only one who breathes water may marry the Lord of the Undersea World. Let us see if the surface girl can breathe water. No, Dorma, she will perish. Quick, repair that breach before our prisoner drowns. It's too late, my Lord Krang. There is not time. Realizing that she is all but lost, the hapless girl hurls herself through the now open escape hatch, preferring to make a futile attempt to reach the surface rather than remain below to face certain doom. I never would have dreamt it would end like this. While above the waves, the battle atop the crippled U-car continues. I have no desire to take human life. Why do you not surrender and save yourselves? Fish, man, if I could only get a good grip on that slippery hide of yours, I'd... Ha! I got you now! I waited a long time for this, brother. But you know something? It sure was worth it. Witness, fool. Did you not forget water revives me? And now it is you who will be helpless. Without your life-giving air. I gotta make it back to the surface. Somehow. But at that very instant, both men forget their own epic battle. As they see, look, yonder, in the shadows. Holy cow, it can't be. But it is. It's Sue. She's snagged in that clump of kelp. She's still alive. We gotta bring her to the surface. Gotta hold my breath. Just a few seconds longer. Got to freeze Sue's feet. There. Now, if Namor could just get her up there in time. But if anybody can, he's the one. And a few scant heartbeats later. Sis, say something. Sis! Reed, is she? No, Johnny. She's still clinging to life, but only by a thread. She needs hospitalization immediately. But we're miles out at sea. The Yucca is smashed. You might as well say she needs Aladdin's lamp. Namor, if anything happens to Sue, there'll be no place on land or sea where you'll be safe from me. Quiet, I must think. There's only one thing that can reach the shore in time. My Imperial command craft. Greed, grab him, he's trying to escape. No, Ben, not this time. Moving like a man possessed, the mighty Lord of the Deep plunges once again into his watery domain, reaching his objective within seconds. They have repaired a broken porthole. That must be how Sue left the craft. Stand aside, all of you. Namor is here. Dorma, Krang, quickly leave the ship. Take the crew with you. I want no more weight than is absolutely necessary. Now go! Your Majesty, even a king cannot speak to me like that. Do you forget my own royal lineage? By your leave, Majesty, may we have some explanation? As warlord of Atlantis, I am entitled to know your battle plans. This does not concern battle plans. The surface girl is dying. I must get her to a hospital within minutes. No more time for talk. You have your orders. The surface girl! You order us out of the Imperial craft in order to save an enemy? I knew it. You were in love with her. She has bewitched you, but not even a prince of the blood may betray his people like this. Silence, Dorma. I claim Imperial privilege, as is my right. And so, leaving the others behind with an auxiliary life craft, the Lord of Atlantis takes sole command of the powerful ship. And seconds later, hold it, Namor. You ain't leaving unless we go with you. No, stay back. The lighter my command craft is, the faster it will travel. Every second counts. If you delay me, you will have only yourselves to blame for the consequences. He's right. Let him go. We have to trust him. What if it's a trick? What if this is the way he planned it? Don't, Ben. Don't even say it. It is no trick. For Namor, in his own strange way, loves Sue as much as we do. Now come on. We've got a damaged U-car to repair. Finally. Think she'll make it, Reed? Okay, kiddies, let's shove off. Hang on. Here goes. She's responding perfectly. Thanks to you, Ben. No one else could have straightened out that damaged hole so quickly. And you're not just whistling Dixie, pal. 2 hours later at a Manhattan pier. This is how I like to see New York, without those blue-skinned goons parading around. I gotta find out where Namor took Sue. After a few hasty phone calls, Manhattan General. She's registered there? Good. We'll be right over. How is Sue, Reed? How is she, Reed? There's your answer, Johnny boy. Sue, you're okay. Oh, man, what a great day this is. What happened to Fish Face? The doctor said Namor brought me here just in time. Another few minutes might have been too late, but I don't know where he went. Sue, darling, don't worry about Namor. The important thing is that you're all right. Reed, I have so much to make up to you for. This looks like a good time for me to cut out. Hey, what's that racket outside? There's a big crowd down there yelling about something. Can't make it out. Maybe some big, bad public enemy got pinched for jaywalking. Who cares? The important thing is that Sue's okay. Yippee, I feel like celebrating. And 15 stories below, a silent, brooding figure strides majestically through a hostile, shouting crowd. It's Namor! We had a tar and feather him on the spot. You ain't so high and mighty now that we shove your little soldier boys back into the sea, are you? Why doesn't somebody seize him? Don't let him just walk away. Suddenly, as though coming out of a trance, the awesome submariner makes a threatening gesture. And, back, you gibbering rabble. None may lay a hand on the royal person of Prince Namor. The next time you set eyes upon me, you will all be groveling in the dust, fearfully awaiting my imperial commands. Then, as the startled crowd falls back, too astonished to move, the lone figure enters a strange-looking craft moored at a nearby dock, and then, without a word, with a backwards glance As the leading mortals were not worthy of his notice, he heads back out into the open sea. But upon reaching the gates of New Atlantis, he finds no guards to salute him, no milling crowds, nothing but silence and desolation. Strange! Everything is deserted, abandoned. And there in the gloom he seems to hear the mocking voices of his people. You have betrayed us, Namor, and so we have fled from you. For we belong to the endless sea where you have left your heart on the surface of earth. Am I to be a king without a kingdom, a man without a home, more than a sea creature, yet less than human? Is there never a place for me on the surface or the sea? But destiny moves in mysterious ways, and the saga of Submariner is not yet over, as we shall learn in future issues of Fantastic Four. So the end. So that's part 1. So I'll read the character bios in the Spider-Man story in the second part. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you could like, comment, or subscribe, that'd be appreciated. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys later.